What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Devil's Advocates. I'm your host today, Andrew, alongside Jake and BP. Guys, what's going on?
Yo,
We
yo.
are recording our last episode before the regular season starts, so I am absolutely jacked up right now. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, Devils hockey is on the way. Let's I I can't wait. I'm actually going. I think at the end of last episode I did not think so. And I literally got a message right after that from a buddy who was like, "Hey, I got a ticket." So I'm gonna be there. Might meet up with a few people, it sounds like, get drinks early. So let us know if you're gonna be there.
Yeah,
Hold on,
thing.
might meet up with a few people. We're
Yeah,
going to
don't.
be there. You are definitely meeting up with many people.
Mm, we'll see how early I get there. I'm
Yeah,
an early in the seat guy.
yeah. I don't know what time I'm gonna be heading down, but I'm gonna try to get there around like 5 o'clock. Hit up Reds, the usual.
Whoa. Oh, okay. We're going to have our first argument of the
Oh,
episode then.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's right.
Red.
We're going to have a drink at American Whiskey together.
Is that a hashtag ad?
Yeah. It's a free ad for American whiskey here. Yeah, no, we should all go to American whiskey and have a Devil's Advocates drink together before going inside. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not taking no for an answer here.
I'm not opposed. Yeah, I think all five of us are gonna be there. Us three, JP,
Mhm.
and Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee I will have to be a bar hopper. I'll say that if I had to pick on name alone, even though I've been to Reds multiple times, I would instinctually go to a place called American Whiskey purely because of whiskey's in the name.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a
that's
whiskey
But
true.
guy.
but I will definitely be at Reds too. So
Is American whiskey the next establishment over? Because I know Reds is down
Yeah,
our little alleyway, but I've never been into American whiskey before.
yeah, it's literally two doors down with like an apartment lobby between them, so it's the two like storefronts next to each other. But for those of you that have not been to a game recently, they do shut down that street now. So they put tables outside. Both Reds and American Whiskey put bars outside. So the whole street is kind of just one unit of
giant,
like, yeah,
giant
it's just
It's like a block party.
one.
block party.
Yeah, it's one block party of a crowd, so you can grab a drink from either place and kind of just float around. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, the only time I venture down further that way, I don't know what direction that is when I'm trying to chase down my Uber and try to cut him off so he doesn't have to come. They don't have to come all the way down to the rock, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, no,
Shoot.
you literally can't go down that street
Yeah.
anymore. They blockade it off. I actually had a friend one time who is not a huge Devils fan, doesn't go to games, and we went to a game together, and I told him to meet us at American Whiskey, and he parked his car in front of American Whiskey like really really early, like hours before game time, and I didn't realize that he did that, and he didn't think to tell me because he didn't think anything of it. And so we, have our drinks at American Whiskey before the game. We go into the game, have fun at the game. We're walking out. I'm like, hey, man, like, where'd you park? Like, how are you getting out of here? I was going to grab my train. And he's just like, oh, I parked in front of that bar we, had a drink at before the game. And I was like, hold up. Like, you parked in front of it? And he's like, yeah. And we walk over. There are cops on both sides of the street blockading it. His car has a ticket on it already. And
Smooth, smooth.
and so we go up to the cops and we're just like, hey, how can he get out? Like, I understand he wasn't supposed to be there. Sorry. But how
I'm
do
the
we get
Brat
out?
Pack. You might have heard of me.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, not that I would do that anyway, but this is way before Brat
This
Pack.
was before I was famous.
Yeah, okay. And the cop literally like looks him dead in the eyes. He was just like, "You're not getting this car tonight. Come back in the morning."
Oof.
And so luckily we had a friend that we were with that actually lived like in the area. He was able to go stay overnight and just grab his car in the morning and be a little late to work. But yeah, no, let it be a PSA. Before they block off that street, don't park there because once your car's there and they block it off, it is there. It's not getting out.
Yeah, with opening night, it's probably gonna be the zoo after the game tomorrow, especially if we win or when we
Yeah,
win, I should
not that
say.
you could even drive on those streets anyway.
I was
Right.
trying to figure out what parking garage I was going to stay at. The prices years ago, if going to the game was nice, nice and cheap, and I mean it's still not that expensive compared to some other places, even considering how hype this season's going to be. But
Right.
years past, I mean, you could get tickets dirt cheap, and parking was even cheaper. Now,
It's brutal around the. I gotta figure something out. If anyone has any tips on that, please let me know
I
because I can't keep paying for parking.
I use ParkWiz. You can get like 20 parking for like $20. It's not. I mean, all things considered, not the worst. I
20's
would
better.
definitely. Yeah, 20's not too bad. I would definitely, prefer to take a train or something in. But based on where I live, it would be. It's a trek. It's like a 40-minute drive just to a train station, then over an hour on the train.
I was gonna say there's no
Plus,
like main line close to you, but yeah, that answers
oh
that.
God, no, 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 no. So instead, I'll do like I gotta pick if I want to pay tolls or not, and then drive an hour 40 up. But
Yeah,
can't wait. Red carpet event. That'd be sick to make it up to. But if not, drinks and then
they do that
all
really
the
early, right?
pre-game celebrations. What was that?
Yeah, the red carpet starts at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
It is really early.
because I remember I made that on Jack's debut because I was working in the city then, and I like had some event and I got out early, so I made my way down there early, and I remember getting there, it was like still light out and the guys were still coming in. They were doing their whole event, but yeah, no, I wasn't sure. But it
Yeah.
should be exciting. No crazy debuts this year, but well, I guess Luke kinda. Did he play? At
I mean,
home?
Kind of,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
but he had a home game.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, he
yeah.
did.
Can't
Yeah.
really, can't really. I mean,
Yeah,
it's his
plus
first red carpet.
But yeah, no, that part's sick. I mean, I've done it before. I did it Nico's rookie year, Jack, um, PK, obviously. So they were fun. They're awesome. But I went with my then fiance at the time. So been a while. See if I make it, but the drinks will be good. And we're playing the
Detroit.
Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah. Yeah. We're back to back. We're tomorrow and Friday home games. Do we want to? I have a couple notes here from last night. I don't know if we want to touch on any of the games last night, or we can just jump right in. I'm good with either.
Bedard looked
Yeah.
good for a rookie coming in, and I mean, he basically dominated everything for Chicago.
Chicago looked surprisingly competent, and Pittsburgh looked surprisingly, but not kind of so surprisingly, old
They
and
just
slow
are
and not very
old and
good.
slow. Yeah.
They kind of got their show run, and Ryan Graves did not have the best debut possible for Pittsburgh.
Nashville was kind to me in fantasy.
Was it?
It was
yeah,
not.
You have Hagel.
Not to me. I had UC Soros.
Ooh, no good.
No, but the only thing I think is like really noteworthy from the opening games is the coverage of Bedard, especially going against Crosby. I saw a lot of social media buzz about how much coverage Bedard is getting, and it reminds me a lot of the Taylor Swift stuff going on in the NFL right now, where there's this like overexposure to a point where it's like, all right, we get it, we know who he is, that's enough. But I think there's this like weird balance between this level of marketing is what's going to shoot it to the moon and this is what we need to be doing, and all right, this is too much, it's annoying, this is turning me off to it instead. So like I would be curious to hear your guys' take on where do you think they're at with that. Like, do you think they should be pushing him every second they can, or do you guys think it's like already too much?
For the market he's in, I don't really think you need to push him that much because it's in Chicago, so it's gonna probably happen naturally. But for the sake of growing the game, like you kind of have to, like especially in today's day and age, like social media is like ridiculous now, so you kind of got to push him to the forefront to get the next generation of fans kind of to get their attention, to get them going. But Bedard to me, like the skill is the skill is a skill, like he's ridiculous, but like it's kind of been over the top for me, like you said, like I get it, I know how good he is, like you don't have to keep remind me. And that forced interview they had him and Crosby do was brutal.
It's terrible.
Every time that came on my TV, it was just like mute. It's like I can tell they both don't want to be there, but I mean he's gonna be ridiculous. But it's been a little bit over the top for me personally. But for the younger fan, like that's who you do it for. So like you're trying to get their attention. So I get it. So
that interview was like just as bad as the NHL awards when they had that country star's son interviewing the players.
I can never watch those.
It was brutal.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed on the interview. As far as the pushing it, again, I think I'm fully in agreement with Andrew. Not for me. I don't need it. I know who the kid is. I know where he's playing. I know how hype he should be, but uh, it was the most watched game besides the most recent Winter Classic, I
Yeah, I
think.
saw it
Now,
was like
obviously, this was
1.38 million.
yeah two. It was two big markets. Pittsburgh usually gets lots of eyes. Chicago, obviously, and then with Bedard being in Chicago, it's going to draw a lot. But I knew when the game was. I was going to watch it. A little over the top, but they're going to keep doing it when they get results like that.
Yeah. They also,
And
just as a side, the NHL finally did the right thing with staggering the starts yesterday. They had
Yeah.
Tampa start they started at 5 o'clock local, which was weird, but it was nice having Tampa's game went into the Pittsburgh game, went into the Vegas game. So I liked that.
Yeah, the Tampa game was the appetizer. Bedard dinner, and then you probably fell asleep on the East Coast. Or
for dessert.
watched the opening ceremony from Vegas, which is dessert, and then was like, good enough, going to bed.
Yeah.
Before we get off the topic, I just want to throw the 2 cents in on when it comes to NHL marketing its stars. I think that they absolutely should be pushing him literally every chance they get. The only thing is, like you guys, kind of already said, we are the target audience. We already know about him. We're very familiar with him. We've watched him every step of the way already so far. We're really not the people that they should be pushing it on every 3 seconds. What I did like, though, I don't know if you guys saw, Connor Bedard was on the Pat McAfee show this week. And then Jack Eichel did an interview on Sunday Night Football because the Raiders were the home team in Vegas this week. I think that is really
That's
where
cool.
like the gold mine is. I think that's what they really need to be focusing on. Like, if you're gonna push one thing down, people's throats all the time, like let it be like cast a wide net. Like put it out to like different people each time instead of the same core NHL fan base every single time. So if it means that Bedard is like the one guy who's going to go on every different like Pat McAfee show type, NHL PR thing, cool, yeah, let it be him every single time, but I don't think he needs to be like repetitively pushed to NHL fans. But I hope they still do, keep
I hear
doing
you on
more
that.
cool stuff.
I hear you on that. It should be Jack. They need an American. Eichel's good for it. Should be the Hughes brothers. The NHL pushes, but hopefully this season when Jack wins the Hart with a 140-point season and the Conn Smythe on the way to the Cup, then it'll be all about the boys.
Yeah, did you see that
But
NHL 24 prediction?
yeah, with
It was
Jack winning,
Jack 132
that's
points, and then the postseason was like 36 points in 20 games.
Yeah.
Come on.
that came out after I already predicted those things, so
Of
it's
course.
fine.
Of course they did.
You're the hipster for the hot takes now.
Yeah, it's on tape. We're good. But BP, absolutely fantastic setup with the NHL marketing and superstars. I want to touch on one more thing from recent topics and NHL stuff before we should jump into talking about at least tomorrow's game, if not the back-to-back, because we're probably not recording after tomorrow night.
No,
at least I'm definitely.
we'll do the
Yeah.
deep dive of the
No.
Wings game and then just kind of touch on the Coyotes, but we can do that.
Yeah. So I
I
got
am
one
not
more
going to
thing.
be in podcast shape after tomorrow.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, but in the car ride, on the car ride home, we all just call each other.
Oh,
There we go. It'll be
We
all hype.
could never release that.
True. So, I'm sure most of our listeners know the Pride tape ban that the NHL put out. Everyone here is going to agree. Dumbest decision in the entire world. It was dumb to ban the theme nights. It could have banned military, but should at least kept Pride and Cancer and all the other good ones. So good to see Jack's quote. I think he could have been a bit more heavy-handed with it. But a lot of the NHLers are somewhat towing the line, and some guys coming straight out saying, "Hey, we're gonna use it." And we know players have ordered it, and some organizations have bulk ordered Pride tape. So it seems like we're gonna see a lot of guys breaking the new rule here. What are your guys' thoughts around that?
Yeah, I have been posting about it a fair amount. I love that the NHL players are going against the league on this, and I think in the past NHL players have towed the line so carefully on pretty much everything. Like literally anything that they could toe the line on, they do. They're very, very safe when it comes to media, more so than other leagues. I mean, NFL players and NBA players will come out and say anything that they want to say, and they're really outspoken about it. And I wish NHL players were more like that sometimes, and they're really just not. So the amount that they have come out about this is like absolute like colossal difference from some of the other stuff. So it may not seem like a lot, but having them outwardly go against the league even a little bit at all is really for them relatively a very big deal. So I love that they're doing it. I love that they're taking a stand pretty much uniformly. I don't think that's a word, but across the board here. And I really, really hope they stick to it. It would be such a shame if we get a couple quotes of players being slightly against it and then it kind of fizzles out from there. I really do hope we see players use Pride tape and, support what they want to support when it comes time to, actually be in warm ups, when they're taping up their sticks. And I think the only argument that the pushback gave against the pride tapes and even the jerseys and stuff was the freedom of choice and not being forced to do something you don't want to do. And I feel like banning it goes the exact opposite direction, and it does the same thing. It's forceful. It makes a decision for the players instead of letting them make their own choices. So it's like you have two sides of a coin here that you could flip it and either one sucks. Like, just let the players choose what they want to do, because now that they're coming out and saying what they want to do, a majority of them really do want to do it, and they care enough about it to go against league orders to do it. So I love it. I want to see it continue. I'm happy that they are actually kind of having a spine on something for once.
Yeah, I mean, this decision to decision to ban everything is also coming from the same league that still has yet to say anything about. I don't know if it's in their hands about the 2018 Hockey Canada incident. Like, that was supposed to drop like 4 or 5 times over the summer. We're like, oh, they're gonna wait till 5 o'clock on a Friday, but no, there have been a ton of guys coming out saying that like they're gonna use it. Like Scott Law in Philly, like Charlie O'Connor reported it today. I don't know what publication he works for, but Scott Law's like, yeah, no, like I'm definitely gonna use it. John Merrill, former Devil, up in, I think he's in Minnesota now. He said he's going to use it. I think McDavid said something about it. He touched on it. I forget what he said. Zach Hyman, I know, is an advocate for it. Tyson Berry was disappointed. I mean, it's not like some guys aren't no guys, but like, and Jack even said something today, like you alluded to it earlier. Like, it's not like your average like fourth line player. It's like stars of the game. Like, people care about it. Like
Connor McDavid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I said that. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. It's like, yeah, like Connor McDavid, like the face of hockey. It's like these guys, like, you don't know what's going on in their lives. You don't know if they're still like, if they're in the closet or if they're not. Like, a loved one. It's like, it's 2023. Like, let people, like, just let them like represent what they want to represent, like how they want to represent. It's like, you look insane. Like, you are getting the wrong publication and like the wrong press. Like, you're coming out looking like fools and like let's call it is. You're coming out looking like bigots. Like, it's just not. It's like not. It's not a good look. So I'm glad players are standing up for what they believe in and just breaking the rules or whatever and taking the fine.
Yeah. And sorry, go for it.
No, I mean, I don't think there's much else to say on it. NHL, terrible look. Good on the players that have spoken out on it. I mean, thankfully we don't have anyone that's like, yeah, I don't see the big deal. It's fine being banned. I don't think, other than the players you can assume have that opinion. Ones that refuse that were jerseys.
Guys.
The ones that do speak out are very much like, yeah, no, this is dumb, and guys that are going to straight up go against it. So, I just wanted to make sure, it needed to be mentioned, as silly as it is. It shouldn't have to be. The NHL basically forces this into the discussion, trying to hide it with all the other news going on. So, but yeah, I didn't have any further comments on it, really. I think our opinions are fairly well known. Ready to talk some Devils hockey.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Go. Okay, so game 1 of 82, hopefully on a long and successful season. We open tomorrow against the Detroit Red Wings. I have practice lines up. I can just run through those really quickly. Not too much has changed on the Devils' end. It's going to be Meyer, Timo, Nico, Mercer, the TBH line. Hollow is back in practice this morning, so it's going to be Palat, Hollow, and Holtz. And on the fourth line, it is going to be Nosek with Mikey and Bastion. Defense also looks the same. Siegenthaler, Dougie, Ball Marino, and then Luke is going to slide in with Smith, and it looks like for the time being, or at least for the home opener, that Miller will be a healthy scratch. But that's not overly too surprising though. Kind of no real surprises there. Maybe Nosik and Lazar, but to me they're kind of the same. So that's not really that big of a deal for me.
Yeah. I felt like Miller would get the start just to give him the actual game experience, but maybe home opener, season opener, Smith knows it. Just go tried and true, and then give Miller the extra practice time, and then get him into it. After seeing how the start of the season goes for us, and then I know Lazar was switching in and out with
I think it was with
no.
Bastion. Yeah, no, it might have been Bastion. I
Yeah.
think.
Was it Bastion? Yeah, I know.
I
Again,
think so.
if seeing if Bastion is condition ready after the shortened off season for him. But yeah, we got the and the TBH line and the top six, the original early off season Devils fans predictions for the lines until we all were like, nope, we convinced ourselves Holtz is a top six boy again as we got into training camp. We talked ourselves into it. And by the end, it is the same as it always was. Holtz plays with one line all preseason and then is moved off of it for the home opener or season opener.
If you thought Lindy Ruff was not going to turn on his line blender at this point in the season, you have not been watching
You
Devils
don't
hockey.
pay attention. Yeah.
The Fire Lindy meters already tilting to the left a little bit.
Yeah, it was, they extended Lindy today, so it was right about here. And then I saw the lines, it's like here now.
He's already on edge.
You're either back on I just want to chant Fire Lindy, or it's Holtz is a bust, good on Lindy, trade Holtz.
Oh, I saw someone on Twitter today say that because we did the Fire Lindy chants last year, if we come out and win the opening game, we should start Lindy's Fire chants.
I brought that up last season during the winning streak.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have done it then. The Sorry Lindy was a great soundbite.
Yeah.
That was good. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty hype. If you look at the Red Wings lineup, I know that was posted.
Yeah, I have that in front of me. I'm going to read them off.
Yeah, let's do it up.
Not
Okay.
going to make a difference to me. Devils are going to win anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally predict us to go 82-0.
Like you could read 15 names right now. I don't
McDavid?
care. I don't care. It's still a
McDavid.
6-0 game.
Yeah.
McDavid.
Okay, so we got DeBrincat, Larkin, Perron, line 1. Line 2, Fabry, Comfort, Lucas Raymond. Line 3, Sprawn, Kopp, Rasmussen. And then line 4 is Costin, Veleno, and Christian Fischer. On defense, Wallman and Sider, you kind of saw them become a pretty steady pair for them late last season. Sherratt, Petrie, line 2. And then Gostisbehere with Mata and Justin Hall was rotating in and out. I know they just signed him to like a fairly lengthy and fairly expensive contract, so I don't know what's going on there. And then I think it's Ville Husso is looking like he'll get the start for the Wings tomorrow. But on paper, it just looks like a lot of mid outside of like
6-0 Devils.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it literally is like you go position by position and you just kind of match it up with our depth chart, and it's like our guy's better, our guy's better, our guy's better, our guy's better, our guy's better.
Like I don't know if you mentioned it yesterday or if it was like maybe like in a conversation we've had previously, but it's like our third line could maybe match up with like other teams' second lines. I think this is a case where like you could probably match Palat, Hall, and Holtz against Fabry, Comfort, and Raymond, and probably maybe play him even, maybe slightly below average. But like if you're matched like Toffoli, Brett Hughes against that line, like that's line 2 and line 2, like that's not even fair. It's just not even a competition.
Yeah, it's cooking. Way I see it, it should be a fairly open game.
Yeah.
There's no one that I'm really scared of physically. There's no one that I'm really scared of to really shut it down. Sider is fine. He's good, but I don't think he's quite at that superstar level. He's going to have to take a pretty big jump this year to be that.
He had a really good rookie season, struggled at the beginning of last year, but then, like I said, he got paired up with Wallman towards the second half, and then I think they had maybe a 58% expected goal share or something higher like that. I mean, that's really good. That's what you want to see from him, but they still just don't have a game other than maybe I guess Larkin. They don't really have a game breaker. And
They're counting on DeBrincat for that now, right? They're hoping he goes back to 40 potential 50-goal scorer guy, and they're hoping with Larkin they can unlock that.
Yeah.
For my fantasy team, I hope so too, but not tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then I mean Sherrod and Petrie as a second pair. That's just like against a team like the Devils with the speed that they have. It's like that's just begging to be caught out in transition, turned around. You're giving up on man rushes left, right, and center.
While I agree, Sherratt also wrecked us in the home opener last year.
Yeah, dude. Someone posted that clip in a chat, and I was like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, I do not need to be reminded of that. Like, that's like the last thing I
Yeah.
wanted to see, especially because it's Ben Sherratt.
Yeah, it was awful. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way I do about the Detroit Red Wings right now. Um, I absolutely want revenge from the home opener last year. Like I don't like them for that. Like I feel like we turned it around and everyone kind of just like let it go and it was like this, funny little oh sorry Lindy, let's move on type thing. I'm out for blood. Detroit Red Wings, like we're coming for you.
Yeah, I think Lindy's gonna have a little vendetta out for them just to get the season off on the right foot.
Yeah, I will not accept another
I even
two
think
opening night losses in a row.
it's not even gonna be a vendetta. The boys are just gonna come out and roll. They have been revving up all preseason, undefeated, just itching to get. I can promise there's gonna be a massive Timo hit. My dude is gonna level somebody.
I
All
really hope
preseason,
so.
you watched him pull up on multiple guys he could have mowed down, and you literally could just watch him kind of like back off a little bit, play stick game. He's gonna rock someone's world. And I think Ball will too. I think Ball's really looking to come in and establish himself as, yeah, I'm gonna skate with the best skaters. I can go down below the line offensively, and I'm also just gonna take someone's head off.
So what's the like betting line though on the person Meyer takes out being Huso?
He might get a reputation if he takes out Huso.
No, I'm kidding. I don't think he will, and I hope he doesn't.
No, we
But
got rid of Miles Wood.
Yeah, we don't
yeah,
have the
yeah,
goalie
yeah,
killer anymore.
yeah.
No,
We need someone to carry somewhat of a reputation though.
I'm fine if Timo has this reputation with Shesterkin and just has this like mind game with him.
Just Igor.
Just Igor.
Yeah.
I'm not really into like being that running. Not even that he runs the goalie, but like being that guy to have like a reputation of being a goalie annoyer. I mean, however you want to put it, because I really don't think there's that many guys in the league anymore where you're like, yeah, that guy has a beef with all the goalies. You know what I
He
mean?
just hates goalies.
Just that guy, except like Wood maybe a little bit.
It sounds like a dog with like an owner, and the owner is just like holding him back, like, oh sorry, he just hates goalies.
He can't help himself.
Like he sees a goal, he just goes nuts.
But I definitely understand the wanting to win the home opener. I agree because I'm going to be there, and my going to game stats are pretty good, considering I went to a decent amount during that basically 10-year void period. So I think that makes the winning percentage more impressive.
did you go to games?
Did you go to any games last year?
Last year I made 2 games,
What was the record?
2.5.
Okay, I went to. I went to one game last year, and it was the records. It was gonna be the record-setting win against Toronto, where we threw chicken fingers and beer. Not we being the fans, not me. Threw stuff on the other
I
set.
saw you.
I went I went with
sure.
Dan. Dan got his tickets down low. They were sweet.
There was one season, I want to say it was 18-19. I'm not sure. It might have been 19-20. I think it was 18-19, where the Devils were just absolutely awful, terrible. And I went to the first 8 games I went to that season. I think I ended up going to like 12, 13. But the first 8 games I went to, the Devils were 1-7. And the away team scored a hat trick. Like a player on the away team scored a hat trick 4 times.
Like
So I saw
crazy.
4 away hat tricks and 1 Devils win.
It's not good.
It's a little brutal,
Good
friend.
ratio.
That was terrible. It was brutal.
If do you want to do official predictions?
I mean,
we're all gonna be in the same boat with Devils win, but like score
For
predictions
tomorrow?
See who gets closest.
sure. Um,
And who's going to actually? Let's do this. Who's going to score the first goal of the season?
Jesper Bratt.
Toffoli.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Dougie. He's going to run it back from a couple years ago when he scored 17. I think it was like 17 seconds into his debut. I think Dougie's going to do it again.
Yeah, that was the Chicago game.
Yeah, that's what like, oh my god, we're going to be nasty this year, and then the wheels completely fell off.
Yeah.
The stick toss game. Everyone thought that. Everyone was just like, "Oh my god! Like the Devils are finally here.
We're here.
Like, this is it. They've arrived. The rebuild is over. We're good to go." And Jack tossed his stick into that crowd, and with that stick went all of our hopes and dreams. And then about 3 games after that, it was that Rob Schneider gif of like, "Oh no, we suck again."
yeah, that game against Seattle where he took the run into the corner. Yeah, we don't need to have that happen again this year. But no, so I'm on Dougie. Jake's on Toffoli. BP's on obviously Bratt to score the
Yeah,
first.
runner up would be Timo. I just feel like those two are raring to go. Timo, especially how with the playoffs ended, is gonna just absolutely be ripping pucks.
Yeah, that's just
I don't know if
added
you
fuel
guys
to the fire
saw.
for him.
I think he was first guy on the ice today, out like really early practicing shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My man's ready.
yeah. He looks
He
like he's-
he really took it heavy, that the missed net, open net in the Carolina series. I really think he has a chip on his shoulder this year because he like that really messed him up a little bit.
I mean, if you
Yeah,
can get an extra motivated Timo Meyer coming off of that, like I mean, like adding more fuel to the fire, it's like could be a big
The
year.
best part too with our team is I think there's some obvious teams and players that where they're at in their careers, especially there's no down, right? Like you just know Crosby, you just know McDavid, the super top guys, and then there's like that tier below it where you're almost positive every year. And I think with how many guys are on our team that are just like that top echelon, even if some guy has a slight dip in production, there's no way someone else doesn't pick it up.
Yep.
Foley, Jack Bratt, Nico, Timo. Between that, there's just no way. There's no, especially with Lindy, who will line shuffle, and the boys are ready for it. It's not like up in Boston where like when the perfection line did hit a slump, which wasn't too often when all 3 of those guys were like really running for a few years there. But when they were in a slump, they tried to get split up, and it was brutal.
Yeah,
And
they
like
got
it,
Mercer.
even splitting them up.
Yeah, including Mercer, who could take another step forward this year. Holtz hopefully doing something. Luke, who knows, struggled a little bit in the preseason, but he's more than capable of probably putting home like 30, 40, 45 points in his rookie season. So yeah, it should be, even if one guy has an off night or like a bad stretch, like it's gonna happen. It's an 82 game season. Like guys are gonna go in slumps. They're gonna get cold. Guys are gonna get hot. But when you amass the talent that we have, it's like guys are gonna go cold. Guys are gonna go hot. Like it'll all work out. I think we're well equipped for whatever.
I mean, even last season, do you guys remember the period of time where Eric Halla not finishing his chances was like a make or break, like big deal in games? Like, can you imagine this year, like relying on Eric Halla's finishing being like the difference maker, like after adding like Meyer and Toffoli and stuff?
That whole Halla saga was so ridiculous because he came over. Like, I mean, it was warranted because like he came over for Zaka, and it's like we just traded the Czech Zaka for the Finnish Zaka. Like this guy can't do anything. He's on Jack's wing, gain all these chances, not finishing. But again, when he went under the hood, like he was not doing anything. Like he was doing like the little things, especially playing with Jack. He was winning the face-offs. Like Jake alluded to this on the other the show the other day. It's like he was fishing out pucks, getting it to Jack, getting it to Palat, like opening up space for guys. It's like he was doing things, but like I think, well, I guess just to touch on last season,
You can find a player like Timo that you bring in or Toffoli that can do all those little things with the digging out, but will also hopefully actually finish.
Yeah, Timo, he's going to probably go through some slumps because he's not like a sniper. He's more of a volume shooter, so like he's going to probably go like, I mean, we saw in the first round against the Rangers, he had like 30 shots, didn't score.
Yep.
I mean, that's more sort of sample size, but that's just kind of like to bring to a point.
But people will probably hate this comparison. But as far as regular season goes, at least, when you look at a team who is, or 2 teams even, I can do a better comparison, that is consistently like guaranteed playoffs, right? In the Atlantic, you have the Leafs and the Lightning. Guys that basically have super guaranteed floors with sky-high ceilings that were just there for years together. Stamkos, Kucherov, Hedman, obviously now they're super old, and Point kind of towards the tail end here. And then Toronto's got their big four. We have five,
Yeah.
I would say, are equal, if not better, than a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just forwards. I mean, throwing Dougie Hamilton in there.
Yeah, and if Luke, probably, you're probably talking at least, or at most 2 years until he's rock star status, right? You talk about like a trajectory to adjust to the league, and a couple years, and he's going to be putting up numbers that will probably be franchise setting. So it's a lot to look forward to.
I'm excited.
Should be a good one. So I guess we can tab on the Wings game. We can touch on the Coyotes.
Well, we did first goal, but we didn't do full.
Full
What was going to be the score?
I will say 5-1. You guess who's going to score for the Wings? It's going to be Ben Sherrod.
Hold on, guys. Live breaking news while we're doing this.
Ooh.
Bedard just tucked his first goal.
Oh, look at
did he
this
really?
boy.
Yep, Bedard just scored.
I was about to say that I was going to say they're not playing tonight, but they are. They're playing in Boston.
They are.
Yeah, they're in Boston.
That's sick. Did Halsey
nice.
assist him?
I'm sure Boston fans will have a calm and reasonable reaction to this.
Bad podcast. I'm looking at my phone
Assisted by Donato and Hall. Yep.
here. Ooh, so Hall has assists on. I don't think he assisted Nico's, but he assisted Jack's first goal, and I assisted Bedard's first goal too. Yeah,
That's what Hall does. That's what you bring him in for.
That's quite literally what they brought him in for.
Yeah.
As far as game prediction goes, my initial reaction, I'll just go with that, was going to be 4-1 with a DeBrincat goal for my fantasy team.
Everybody wins.
Yep,
I'm
all
gonna go
done.
6-0 Devils. No goals for the Red Wings. Half their team falls down on the ice at least once during the game. Huso gets pulled. Brat hat-trick. Jack gets 2, and Meyer throws 1 in there. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think there might be this might be a hot take. I think a Red Wing might retire after the game.
I could see it.
At least one. Like in the post-game press conference, like not the next day, like after the game ends, I think they might realize hockey's just not for them.
Jeff Peachu's like, I see these young whippersnappers whipping the puck around the ice, turning me inside out. I can't do it anymore.
You know what? I'm gonna go one step further into the hot take. I think it's gonna be a young guy. I think a young Red Wing with his whole career in front of him is just gonna be like, is gonna play the game tomorrow and be like, you know what? Not for me. I can't do this. Sorry guys.
Alex
like,
DeBrincat requested trade back time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a job at like a law firm or something.
That's hilarious.
Like my dad runs it. It's cool.
Well, now that my first period prediction of 4-1's done, I'll say we score another 5 in the second.
There it is. Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, you said 6-0. So that would be a 6-0 win with a VTech shutout. As it looks like he is gonna get the start tomorrow.
Well, I think VTech is gonna play the first period and then 10 minutes of the second period, and then they're gonna switch to Schmidt for 10 minutes, and then the third period, and then it's gonna be a 50-50 shutout. They're both gonna get credited with it though.
They actually really liked how that went in the preseason for them. They're like, why don't teams always do this?
This is great.
He's like the line
Rush goalie all the time. Like what?
Look, I mean,
it works for the forwards. Why not for the goalies?
If you guys have ever worked a half day at your job, you get it.
Yeah.
It's sick.
And they were like, we're doing this 50-50 power play split, so why would we not do it with the goalies?
Imagine your boss comes to you at noon of your 9 to 5 and says, you know what? You've done a great job. You can go home.
Done.
I'd say we'd have some happy campers, in my opinion.
I'd be like, why did I drive all this when I work from home?
Fair enough. Yeah, no, 6-0, everybody eats.
I'm here. I mean, I would not even surprise me.
I mean, we're heavy favorites according to the books.
Ready to go.
If you're into that sort of thing, according to the books, we are heavy favorites on opening night and on against Arizona as well. So, expecting big gains from opening night.
I'm gonna put a lofty bet on the Red Wings money line.
Please bet
so that
responsibly.
I'm actually glad I'm not going to the Yotes game because I think fans are gonna. I think we're gonna blow out the Red Wings, right? And I think the Arizona game fans are gonna be like, "Oh,
Trap
it's
game.
Arizona." Not. I think the boys are gonna be fine. To be honest, I don't think they're gonna take anyone lightly. They're just gonna go out there and be like, "We won how many games in a row last time? We're going for 82."
Yeah.
But the fans, I think, are gonna be like, "Oh, we just put a beat down on the Red Wings, who are like know they have to fight for every point this season to make playoffs."
Yeah.
And we're gonna go
Yeah.
against Arizona, who is actually fairly legitimate. They are not
Uh,
awful.
yeah.
They're not as bad as Columbus, am I right?
I remember I planted that flag in the offseason. I said they should be a little bit better than last year, but their defense is still pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit better is it's a relative term, right?
Yeah, I think they're
a little bit better. They could still be awful.
Like 73.5 or something like that, but
That's
I mean,
awful.
I mean, it is, but it can't really be much worse than last year. And San Jose exists, so
Now
Yeah,
they'll play an
fair enough.
annoying game. I feel like it's gonna be closer. I'll say the goal differential, 100% goal differential is closer in the Anaheim game than Detroit.
Arizona.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be amazing,
Anaheim.
seeing as they're not playing
Arizona.
Anaheim. The goal differential, I guess, is 0 for
I was
the
thinking
Anaheim
of
game
two terrible teams from places that start with an A.
on the West Coast,
Yeah,
kind of near each other.
wires crossed.
Oh, I just saw the Bedard goal on my TV. Nice little wraparound.
Even like the brownish tan color scheme.
God, the Bruins alternate. I don't know if this is like a Century jersey or like some like alternate jersey, but
100. I think it's their 100-year.
does
Not 100.
You just got the Bedard goal now.
Well, no,
I still haven't seen the
I
Bedard goal.
I have the Leafs game on ESPN Plus on my TV. And it's like the.
I was gonna say, like, did you know the Queen died, or like,
No,
have you gotten that news yet?
Yeah, so Ottawa's winning too. So Carolina down early. Okay, yeah. Speaking of the Coyotes, we can just touch on them a little bit, and then we can get out of here.
No, you shouldn't touch a coyote. It's
yeah, definitely don't touch
very dangerous.
Definitely don't touch a Coyote. So yeah, like I said, or like we mentioned, their forward core is a lot better this year than last year. They did. I like what they did this offseason, adding Zucker and Kerfoot to their top six. They added obviously Logan Cooley from a couple drafts ago, who was heavily coveted by a lot of Devils fans, and people were very upset that we did not take him over Simon Nemitz.
Yeah.
Simone Nemec. Yeah, I mean, Cooley's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm not too concerned, at least with who's around him right now.
I don't know if he's line 1 or line 2, but I mean it's again like it shouldn't be a problem. Devils are heavy favorites as they should be, but I think they'll be a lot more watchable this year than last year. But their defense is still really bad. They still have a ton of young guys. I know they picked up Matt Dumba in the offseason. They traded for Sean Dursey, and then goaltending could still be a question mark. I know they're probably gonna play Vejmelka, and then I think they signed Connor Ingram to like a fairly long deal. I think it was like a 3-year deal. But yeah, Vejmelka, like speaking of goalies from last episode with Hellebuck signing, like maybe that could be someone Fitzy looks at as a potential trade deadline acquisition. I think if goaltending goes, is a bit of a question mark.
Real quick, I hate to interject with this because now I'm just participating in it. But did you guys see Bleacher Report has a Connor Bedard ISO cam for this game? Like, you can log into Bleacher Report and the camera is just on Connor Bedard and that's it.
I think they do stuff like that with the NBA, with like NBA stars.
I mean, I haven't seen that even for NBA. That's crazy. I mean, I just said like a half hour ago, do everything you can to have everyone watch him every second of the day. But I think I'm doubling back on this already. This is insane.
It is.
Good for the kid.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
our kids really like checking out the Connor Bedard ISO cam on Bleacher
Oh, no.
Report.
I meant good for the kid, as in Bedard.
I mean, the kid,
say.
he looks like a hockey robot, so I don't think he cares too much about that. But it is cool. It's a bit OD in my opinion. It's
just a lot.
It's like relax. I know, like I get the hype.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If they had that for Jack, I would absolutely have it up.
Oh,
so,
I'd watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Absolutely.
Like,
I'd
come
watch
on.
it.
Yeah, so I don't hate
like
it.
Old man yelling at the cloud, aka everyone who's not a Hawks fan. It's like, what are you doing with the Hawks fans? Like, I love this.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I gave my take. I doubled back on it. 10 seconds later, I'm doubling back on the double back. It's awesome. I hope they keep doing it. I would absolutely watch it.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
I swear Jack came into this league with just uh, a bravado about him, and then he got humbled hard in his mind.
Yeah.
He knew how
Yeah.
good he was. We knew how good we was, and he was going to be there. But he was like, I gotta. He doesn't just dominate like he basically always has, and
He
I
got
think he's very careful. He respects the guys that he knows are in that same echelon, and he's not going to say anything crazy. But I guarantee if that boy puts on a Hart Conn Smythe winning season, which is a lock, people sell the house. This is not gambling advice, and I think we'll see that cocky Jack in interviews after that point.
I think we're starting to see it a little bit more
We are.
now that like we're good. I mean, he kind of alluded to that a little bit. He had an interview with the 32 Thoughts guys like a couple weeks ago where it's like he's like, yeah, like coming into camp, like it's not like the past years where it's like, oh, like what are we gonna be doing this year? Like he know like there's an expectation in camp now. It's like we have to win. Like we're supposed to be good now. So like it's like I think he's gonna go like ballistic this year. Like he knows that we're good, so he's gonna go off.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. What is it? Just under 24 hours now, right? Puck drop would happen about 24 hours minus 20 minutes, something like that.
Yep, 7:30 start tomorrow because we're on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, 7:30
that's
start.
right.
We're gonna have the announcements. So that first puck drop usually doesn't happen until like 7:42 in this case, probably maybe
They got
7:45.
to do intros and stuff too.
Yeah, so
The, ooh, I think
we'll be
Slavkovsky
into the
too.
first period. So yeah, I can't wait. I know the boys are raring to go.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to touch on.
Get
I think
after it.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job touching on everything.
We get to react to games after this.
We'll
Or
have
no previews.
And react, I will.
yeah we have
Oh,
we'll have two games
the
to
hot
react to
takes.
on Sunday. Hopefully it's a 2-0 start to the season. Nothing else for me, guys. Next time we talk, we'll be 2 games into a long 82 game season.
Yes.
Get after
And-
it, boys.
And there's a long break after the 2. It's like 4 days.
Don't we play?
What is this schedule? I don't think so. I don't think we play again.
Yeah,
Where
Monday
is it Monday? Am I high?
against Florida. I
I
think.
plan on that being the outro, but now we're gonna.
Oh yeah,
now
that's
we're
fine.
gonna- Now we're gonna be going for a couple of minutes. No, I think we play on. I think we have Florida on Monday, which should be a good game. But yeah,
Don't
on
we have
Sun-
or is it a crazy break right after that one?
It might be. This is fantastic podcast.
Oh yeah, it's 3 days in between Florida and then playing the Islanders.
Yeah, so that'll be good though. We'll have time to digest the 2 games tomorrow and Friday, and then on Monday
Get the
we'll have-
weekend to enjoy the 2-0 start, smoke the Eastern Conference champs Monday, and then enjoy or have to trudge through the middle of a work week.
That's what we're here for. We'll be at it.
Gonna be a long work week.
All right, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. Finally back. Have a good one.
Just for Brat's the best player in the NHL.